Hey, what's up, everybody? It's BATJAC J.W. You are tuned in to Chatbox. That's right. That's what we do here. We chat about some stuff and turn on the recorder and all that. I try to find a nice and decent place to start recording because with these, sound is really important because that's all we got. No, I mean, all joking aside, sometimes I've done these and I've had to actually just get rid of the recording because there was just either you know how it goes. You start doing these things, when Santee over the Arizona Ghostwriters knows this very well, as we used to battle. I remember I got a video on this. We used to battle the blower. We used to go and film at locations. This one in particular where we always go, and there's this maintenance guy that would literally start up his blower the minute we turn on the camera. I tell you, everything would be fine. Everything would be just like nothing, no sounds, nothing going on. Not even a bird chirping. But the minute we turn on the camera, boom, he starts up that blower, and and then we would move. We'd pick up everything. We'd pick up the camera, the tripod, all our props, and if we have wardrobe or anything, pick it all up and move. We have to readjust and try to think, okay, well, now we got to use, what other background can we use, and then get all set up. And yeah, guess what? He would move too. So it's just kind of the nature of doing this stuff. I tell you, I also watch his channel is now called Hops and Lead. I watch him a lot, and that's Steven over there, and he does a lot of beer reviews, which I really enjoy. I've actually learned a lot about beer myself watching his channel, so interesting stuff. But it's funny how I'll see some of his videos, and you'll hear like his neighbor start up a lawnmower or honk their horn or something. And oh man, anybody that makes videos, we feel each other's pain when that stuff happens. So anyway, some stuff that's going on. What are we doing? So I'm actually been in the search for a new camera. Like I said, I actually when I was looking online, I bought one of these more cheaper cameras. I'm gonna tell you guys right now, those little $100 cameras and stuff. I used a brand called BATJAC or something. Best Taker. I guess they were trying to say it's the best taker, but do not buy that camera at all. It's horrible. I even gave it so many chances to fulfill. It just is just not working out. That it just did not. I don't know what it is. Maybe I have to use their editing program or what, but I just really didn't want to even take it that far. But the audio was messed up. I just couldn't get it to work at all. So there went that out the door. So I'm currently just looking around, and actually I got a good comment from Hascap, and he said to look up. There's this camera by Canon. I believe it's Canon, and I looked at on Amazon. Yeah, it's actually a pretty. It looks like a pretty solid deal. So there's also one down here at the local Target that I saw that's around the same price, and I'm gonna see if it's the same bit. Sometimes buying it locally, something like that, at least you can return it. I mean, not saying you can't return it on Amazon, but when you buy online, that's the only downfall. When you got to return it, you got to box it up, you got to take it, ship it back to the company, you got to wait and do all this processing. At least if you buy it from the store, you can walk right back in there and say, look, this didn't work, I need my money back, and pretty much they'll take care of you. So kind of like what I did last night, in a sense. I bought a curtain rod that was by the way, if you're I know I'm just throwing this out there, total random. If you're buying curtain rods, I really wouldn't go by that little the measurements they give you on the rod for some reason. I don't know where they're getting those measurements, but I think they're lying, at least in my experience. So go bigger than you need. But anyhow, I went right away and returned it and got my money. Got a credit, a gift card, so I could spend, it back in the store, which I did. I actually went there with a sole purpose to find the TV series that came out on tape now, Yellowstone, Kevin Costner and whatnot. I've been actually really dying to see it because I'm really interested in that stuff. It's really cool because I don't know, I thought it was when I saw the previews for it, I really got excited, and that's for me too. Like I notice a lot of these upcoming movies and stuff. They're either they're like they're geared for Netflix or I don't know, like a Prime Video or something. I'm just barely now understanding Amazon Prime and how all that works and the videos and all that. So yeah. So I'm barely now understanding on how that works. So I get confused when I see it's like a Netflix exclusive or something. I'm like, okay, I guess what do you have to have, like Netflix to watch this, or is it gonna come out on videotape or DVD or whatever? Yeah, is it gonna? Are we gonna be able to get it? I'm not used to this. I'm used to being able to go to Blockbuster on Friday night and rent the tape that just came out. Rent it, buy it. So that's just my thing. I miss that. I miss being able to go into a store and see just walls and walls of tapes and go, that looks good. Physically pick it up, turn that box over, and read the description on the back and say, that looks pretty good. I think I'll try it and rent it. Be kind, please rewind. But anyway, so I wound up going to Target to find this series and was unsuccessful. Yeah, I went to Target and they didn't have it. I looked around. I said, well, what, this is weird. You would think it would be like a nice embellished display, but it wasn't. There was nothing. I couldn't. So that kind of worries me because usually when a new release comes out, it's pretty well displayed by the registers and everywhere. They want you to just snag a copy and run it through the checkout. But I couldn't find it. Nowhere in sight. So I walked over to the main area of the video section, which is getting smaller and smaller, which I definitely I'm upset about that. I think I'm really bummed out because I think the way of the world is and the way all this stuff is going, I think everything is going to be like an online content, a downloadable exclusive, something. I just can't do it. But so anyhow, so I couldn't find it, and so I actually wound up asking the gentleman there, and he was actually really good. He looked it up, and no, they don't have it. So unlike the other gal that I asked for where the stationery section was, and she just kind of said over there and pointed to some random direction. So yeah. Anyhow, not there. So I get back out to the parking lot, and I thought, I don't really want to drive to the big Walmart because that's a little ways away, and plus it's literally a big Walmart. It's like a super Walmart. It's a mission. It's a full-on mission to go in there and get something. So I called the Barnes & Noble, which is just right across the street. So I called them and seeing if they got it. No, they don't. Interesting. So now I'm starting to think, all right, now at this point, I know I should have just ordered it from Amazon Prime because I would have had it in 2 days anyway. But guess what? Amazon was out of them. They were sold out. So I started to actually question myself, did this thing actually get released on, physical, actual copies of it, or was it just one of those, oh, you can pre-download it or pre-stream it, I don't know, whatever. No, so I went and looked it up, and yeah, sure enough, it was released on the 4th. So I had a couple options. I could go to the local record store, which I support and love because they still embrace that, I guess, old school, if they call it that now. I guess that's what they do because everybody's into the digital thing. They still support that old school thing where you can go in there, you can buy a vinyl, you can buy a cassette tape, you can buy a compact disc, you can buy, the physical copies of things, and they embrace it, and so there's that option. Or I could have gone to Best Buy. I really don't like Best Buy. So instead of supporting corporate, I went to support this little entity of a record shop, and I called them. They had a copy of the thing, so I went down there and purchased it. Maybe it was a couple dollars extra, but that's okay. I purchased it. And so I watched the first episode last night. So interesting enough, yes, I know. I read so many of these horrible... Some of these... Okay, now, mind you, you hear bad takes on it. It was good and bad. It was weird. It was really no neutral. Either people really loved it or they just absolutely hated it. Now, if you look at a lot of the ones that hated it, it's like, okay, first of all right, let's get this out right now. I'm not going to spoil the series for you. I can't. I only watched one episode. But it's not a family, it's not something you're going to grab the kids and watch, okay? It's not a family thing. It's a rated R series. So there will be the usual stuff that accompanies rated R flicks. It's, so anyway, but no, it's very interesting. I like the scenery. I'm looking at how it was shot. I'm looking at the interesting, how the story is unfolding, so it seems interesting. It's kind of grabbing me. I will say it didn't really just totally grab me right away. I mean, I kind of was a little had to get kind of used to it. So usually I give them a couple episodes to kind of grab you. Now they are long episodes, so for me, Costner is the only real star in it. I don't really know all these other younger stars that are coming up. So in that aspect, so the only other star I know is Cole Hauser, and I only know him from a couple other things, but I'm not like a huge fan of his or anything. I just know who he is. But that would be my gripe right there. Now, Kevin Costner is the only major star you could have you could spring for. I would have liked to have seen some other well-known faces in there. I guess I don't know. But that's okay, that's just me. I don't know all these other, younger stars, I guess. Everybody that I'm a big fan of, I guess they're getting older now. I guess they're, I don't know. Because I'm still stuck in, I'm still stuck in that time period where it's like, I still gravitate towards, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, it's just like all the stuff I watch, and then some people think I'm weird, but I go all the way back and watch the old Humphrey Bogart days, and, the Cagney, and all that. And I still have a tape that I have here. It's called I Saw What You Did. It's an old black and white thriller, horror type, awesomeness. I still watch those, old black and whites. Some people go, oh, it's in black and white. Bah, I don't want to watch that. No, I still do. I enjoy it. It's in its own thing itself. So, anyway. But, no, so far it's pretty good. I like it. It's alright. The radio show's up, by the way. Thank you for everybody that's tuned in and watched it. Also have been appearing, I'm going to be appearing in some the Ghost Rider stuff because we went out and filmed some stuff. Got it in a can. I know our scheduling has not been matching, so. And I actually told Santee, I said, look, we need maybe we should do a video and kind of, say what's going on, man. People are going, hey, you guys are not friends anymore. No, nothing like that. Just we haven't had the same, we work the same schedule. All mornings. So, and that's when we used to film stuff, right before he had to go to work. And I usually didn't have to work, so I could accompany and go and be a part of it. But now I work so early, I can't really participate. And then on weekends he's busy. So when we have the time, when we can afford it and do it, we do. So anyway, actually, what the main topic of a lot of this that I wanted to talk about, now that we're about 15 minutes into this, but actually, I don't think many of you mind. I think you guys enjoy this stuff, so do appreciate it. You're still here. You're still listening. So anyway, the thing I wanted to talk about this, and this is, and I know some people are just immediately going to go, what? Oh, like, because that's actually what I was trying to tell, one of my good buddies about this, and he kind of did the same thing. He was like, I don't want to mess up. I'm just making fun of him, but no, I see. For me, it's a little bit different. I'll explain it. And I'm talking about. I know you're going. What are you talking about? Say it. Say it. I'm on anticipation. I'm gripping my coffee cup, and I'm going. What are you talking about, BATJAC? Get it out. I'm talking about airsoft guns. Yeah, big moment of silence there, right? As I take a swig of coffee. Airsoft guns. I remember when these things started to come on the market. I remember going to Walmart and seeing, and I think, if I recall right too, I was already kind of, I was already out of, I don't know, just when I was a kid, running around my grandpa's house with cap guns and any kind of, they used to be able to buy guns still that shot little plastic pellets and bullets and stuff. I mean, you literally, I had stuff like that. I had little revolvers that shot little plastic pellets and darts and, I don't know, all kinds of stuff. So, now, I didn't have airsoft guns. I remember when they were starting to come about, and I remember seeing them, and, if I remember right, too, the first one I saw didn't have any orange markings on it. It was a Beretta. A Beretta 92 is silver, and that was the first one I saw, and I just remember going, that's pretty insane. Like, that's what the heck? So, in case you don't know what an airsoft gun is, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to insult anybody, but it's just basically, it's like a pellet gun or BB gun that shoots a big plastic BB, and it's actually designed now to shoot each other like paintball. So you go into woods or whatever, and that's what we used to do, is just go in the woods. Only we used Red Riders. Anyway, I didn't say that. You kind of, you shoot each other. You wear protective gear. We didn't. You wear protective gear and you go and shoot each other. And they have and it's a big thing now. It's some of these guys, they get crazy with it. I've actually YouTubed some of these videos, and they got full on. It looks fun. Unfortunately, I think if I did a day of that, I think I'd wake up, my back would be hurting, my knees would be shot. It's really cool because it's evolved so much. These things have emulated the real thing so much to the point where they've got stuff that's full on working just like the real thing would. Now, I watched a video on, for instance, this shotgun that they have. These shells, you load what they call green gas. Basically, it's the propellant. It comes in a canister, has a nozzle on it. It's kind of like how you fill up a lighter. You charge up the base of the shell, and then they sell you the wadding. You pack the wadding, you put some of the BBs in it, the plastic BBs, you shove the little cap on it, and there it is. It's contained. That loads into the magazine tube like you would a shotgun. Rack that 4M. It chambers the shell like it would into the barrel, which is like a shotgun barrel. It's just a big tube, and you hit it, and it ignites, or not ignites, but it releases that gas, propelling all those BBs and jetting them out the barrel. It's like the real thing. So, and they even have pistols that they had. This is where I'm going to get into it. They had some that you actually load the BB into a shell, load the shell into a magazine, load it up into the semi-auto, wreck the slide. It chambers that shell, fires the BB, chucks out the shell. I mean, now, okay, there's two sides of this. There's two sides of this. There's that side that I'm on, where I just look at this and say, that's really cool, because you could have it and just kind of play around with it in your living room. You know, set up a box and put some old towels at the end of the box and put up a paper thing and, you know, pepper a piece of paper in your living room. And it has all the characteristics of going to the gun range without the smoke, the lead poisoning, and all that. But anyway, and then there's that side where, like I said, they go out in the field and they run this. This is like a serious thing to them, which is great, because it's better than them sitting there on a chair and a sofa playing a video game all day long. They're going out and really physically doing it, and it's awesome because it gets people involved in it. Now, like there's a YouTuber I watch that he does really good reviews on a lot of these things, and he's actually in England. So in the UK, and they can't even own a firearm over there. Well, I don't know. I mean, it's extremely restricted. But they can have these airsoft things, I guess. Well, apparently, because he's got quite a collection of them. So that's where the thing is. So that, you know, where, okay, you can't own the real thing, but you can own an airsoft variant of it that's pretty darn close to the real thing. I mean, in fact, it's getting so close where there's not much that's different. They're getting better made. Not all of them, but a lot of them are getting better made. So, here's an example. Say you, like, in this state that I live in currently right now, I can go and apply for a tax stamp permit and all that, and get a short-barreled rifle, get a short-barreled shotgun. I can get a full automatic, or I can get a suppressed something. But it involves a lot of paperwork, and you're filling out stuff and federal and yada yada yada, which doesn't appeal to me because I don't like going through all that stuff, and it's so highly regulated that I feel like I'm holding like a hand grenade, and I shouldn't, like, it's like I can have it, but I don't want to pull the pin, kind of thing. I don't know, but if you get what I mean about that. But I can go online and get, a 10-inch barreled shotgun, airsoft gun, that, like I said, just acts like the real thing, and I can play around with it. Does it satisfy? Does it scratch the itch? Does it, all that stuff? It can. It very well can. I've flirted around with a lot of these airsoft things. I really have, and they're really cool. They do. They have blowback. They have the slide opera, and you can, again, and I believe, if I'm not recalling, if you're listening, if you're still here, 454 Packer, I think it's you. You have a video. You have an MP40 airsoft gun or pellet gun or something, and it's really cool. I saw that. So, for me, I saw that they have a. Now, here we go. This is where I'm going to fall into it. This is where I get involved in the mix. They have a Thompson, a Tommy gun, the old war one, and it's a gas blowback. So the green gas is charged into the magazine, and when you fire it, you can do semi or full auto. It operates the bolt and everything. Has a little bit of a little bit of recoil for what little it can muster. That's the full deal. Full deal. And that's the thing. That's where I've been hung up. There's the electric ones where they run off a battery, and it basically you have this big like shell that looks awesome because it looks like an airsoft, or it looks like a Tommy gun, but in the end you pull the trigger and a little motor whirls up and just kind of spits out all these plastic BBs, and then unless you're outside, they're all over the place and you're stepping on them in your house and whatnot. But that's it. You basically just have a big plastic shell of one. It's got metal on it. They make them out of metal now too. But this thing it's got everything. It does it. It has the sound of the a little bit of a sound because it's propelled by the basically like a CO2 type thing, and there you have it. It's a 10-inch barreled little, the way it should be, Tommy gun. It's really cool. It's really cool. Like I said, they've been getting so good at making these things to be more and more authentic, to replicate more and more like the actual firearm itself. Now, you look at it this way. I messed around. I've flirted around with Tommy guns ever since. I've always wanted one. I've actually seen the real ones that they make. Auto Ordnance makes them. You have to have a 16-inch barrel on it. I've even had one that was right in the beginning. I don't think it ever made it on YouTube. I don't think it did. I had a kit that turned my 1022 into one. So, but anyway, I've actually picked up the real ones and the Auto Ordnance. They're very heavy. They're semi-auto. It's a novelty, really. I mean, you're going to take it to the range, you're going to fire it, and that's about it. And you're going to get a lot of guys that are going to go, ooh, that's so cool. Let me see it and fondle it. And you can sit back and go, yeah, that's my baby right there. And then you go home and you feel good about yourself because everybody wanted to check out what you had, because it's not like the usual AR-15 that everybody's got. You got something cool. So it's really neat. It's 16-inch barrel, so it doesn't really kind of look correct, but there you go, and you're about $1,500 into it, and that's it. You put it in your closet and you're safe, and yeah. And then you take it out and you kind of go, you kind of forget about it for a little bit, and you take it out and you go, wow, that's a pretty heavy gun. Or you can apply for the tax stamp and go through all that and spend about almost $2,000, and then you have this extremely regulated item because it's a short-barreled rifle, and then now you have a short-barreled 10-inch, the way it should be, semi-auto version of the Tommy gun. And you're $2,000 into it. And I'm being lightly on that. It's probably a little bit more maybe with the tax stamp and all that, and taxes. Depends what state you live in. That is if you live in a state that allows you to do that. Yeah. Like if I was back in Hawaii. No way. No way. I could have the 16-inch barreled semi-auto version. Yeah, no problem. Or you can go and find the real thing. One from way back that's full auto. That was made back then, and it would cost you a fortune. Forfeit your house and car, and that might not even be enough. I'm kidding, but they are expensive. I saw one guy with one, a real one from it was like a 1928 model, and he spent like $25,000 on it. Yeah, that's not to be taken too lightly. Or you can spend a few $100 and get this really cool airsoft variant with blowback. What I mean by that, I'm talking airsoft language. Recoil. A little bit of recoil. That runs off of a gas propellant like CO2. With a 10-inch barrel, obviously. Not regulated. I can order this thing. Shows up to my front door. Open it up. And there it is. And there it is. It's just a novelty for somebody like me. Fire it in a little box. Collect all the BBs so I don't step on them. And have to pick them up a million times. And there it is. It's cool. I got it. It's something neat. So, that's what kind of it falls. Those airsoft guns, I'm not bashing them because actually they're pretty cool. They're pretty neat. For somebody like me that's just kind of like, there's a lot of guns out there that I would have liked to have had, like a Tommy gun, but there was no way financially I was going to able to afford one. And you can't, and for me to get the proper one that I would want, which the proper way the thing would look, which would be a short rifle. Short barrel. All those military guys, you look at the old military gun, I mean, that barrel's like, what, 10.5 inches? So, yeah, there's kind of where it's at. It looks really cool, I gotta admit. And so, I think I'll be getting one. I'll have to save up, or I'll have to sell something. I don't know. But I'll be working on it. I think it'll be something like part of my Christmas gift or something to myself. I don't know. We'll see. Well, like I said, I'm looking at it. I'm flirting around with it. I'm definitely gonna want to get it because it's just so awesome. And then it's not you don't have to worry. It's got all the markings on it, and then of course it's got that, which I'm glad they do. They put an orange button on the tip, on the muzzle, so that it can be identified as a BB gun or a toy. It shouldn't be. It's not really a toy, but it's not an actual firearm. So that way, if you shipped it or something like that, you wouldn't get in too much trouble. So there it is, and I tell you, I've done a little bit of looking around into them. I'm a guy. Don't knock it until you try it, and yeah, it's kind of like when I ate those snails at a steakhouse. Yeah, don't knock it until you try it. I tried it. It's if you can get over the fact that it's a snail, it actually tastes okay. But is it something I would go and purposely order? No. So, anyway, thanks for hanging out, you guys. Thanks for just listening and being around, Chatbox.